But his list is gone. If only you had a physical written on. You live here. Your cable has to be nearby.
Yeah, it is.
So depressing.
But we used up all the plugs over there.
Yeah, once again, your house. You have splitters.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm Chris from DSX Machina Games, and I am with
Dave from Rampant Wolf Games,
and we are here to talk about another very annoying list. I have to admit, this was not an original idea. This came from Rahdo. Okay. Rahdo had a list of the top 5 disagreements between with Board Game Geek, which is the games that we disagree the most. Mm-hmm. But we're going to change things up a little bit instead of it just being top 5, because his were just all the games he loves that other people don't. Mm-hmm. We were going to do a flat list of just ups and downs, but at the last second I decided, no, I'm going to change it, and we're going to mix the two lists together and say the top 5 games that we disagree with because we like them, and the games we disagree with because we hate them.
Because I split them into 2 lists.
That's fine, so did I, but I still would do it as one video.
Okay, alright, fair enough. Right?
So
let's do the like more first.
I was going to do them both, but we can do however you want. You want to do the love most, a separate list? I was going to do them both at the same time, like 5 and 5, 4 and 4, 3 and 3, just to merge them.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
okay.
I can do that. Yeah.
So this is like we'll do the love and hate, and then go from 5 down to 1.
Yep.
So we will be doing 10. But like I said, mine, the deviations from the geek lists, from the geek aggregate, is way more severe with love than hate, oddly enough.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Ditto. All right. So are you going to do like first or hate
I'm going
to
do love and then not love.
Okay, fair enough. Good. All right.
So my number 5, which I gave an actual even 10 out of 10 score on, is one of my favorite games, Alien Frontiers.
Okay.
I love Alien Frontiers. I love it to death.
And what was the BGG?
BGG is 7.3, which is, I don't know, when it comes to BGG, not particularly high. It's at 7.3. I think it's 7.3 is when games they stop being polarizing, start migrating towards praise. Below 7.3, there's still going to be this wild up and down.
And one thing I've kind of noticed that people aren't possibly doing is that if you are going based on what the actual rating is, which is, if you actually read their thing is, would you play this game, or it's would you play the game, or do you like playing the game? Where I think some people are rating it, well, it's got really good production value. That's not the question. The question is, do you enjoy playing the game, and would you play the game again?
Now, oddly enough, Alien Frontiers Factions, which we didn't put the expansions on these lists, nope. So no expansions. Alien Frontier expansions would be 2.
Yep. Because
Alien Frontier expansion has a lot more hate, which is weird, because it's basically a really good expansion. It's a mandatory expansion to a really good game. But Alien Frontiers, 10 to 7.3. For disliking, I have Bears versus Babies. Which is not a hard thing. Now, funnily enough, this game apparently has not been getting good reviews. Thankfully, the geeks, despite how much money Oatmeal makes off of their campaigns, oddly, just weird because their last 2 games they didn't put on Kickstarter. They just shipped right to retailers. Probably because they probably didn't think they were going to make as much money as they could have. But Bears versus Babies, I gave it like 2.5 or 3. I think it's actually 2. I rounded it up to 3. So there's 5.5. Right? So people still dislike this game, but obviously they dislike it less than I dislike it. Because the game could have been good. It's just not enough game.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5 for loving Alien Frontiers, for hating Bears vs. Babies.
All right. So for my number 5, loving is Captain is Dead. I gave it 9. They give it 6.4. Wow. I'm like, wow, that game is not that bad.
Wow.
Like, I am appalled that they gave it such a low rating.
I am appalled, good sir.
Now, I'm wondering if it has something to do with that originally it was a Kickstarter. And then they sold it to...
oh, right. You're telling me about the whole thing about
I think they sold it to Ares Games.
Who just started releasing new versions of it?
Yeah.
So you think they're vote bombing it?
I think they're vote bombing it. Because it is a really good game. And it fills a nice niche for me in my game group, which is where all of a sudden you have 7 people show up. It's like, 7 people. Oh, wait. Captain is Dead. I can play with 7 people.
There you go.
I can play with 8 people, actually. So, I don't know why. And unfortunately, my hate for number 5, I don't have. I didn't have I only have 4. So I have no number 5 hate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right, then. So on to number 4 for loving. One of my all-time favorite games, and I know we were having conversations about you and 2-player and 1-player games, is a Nyrim. I love a Nyrim. The digital version is fantastic. I love playing it with a good chunk of expansions. I don't play it naked. I play it with a whole bunch of expansions. I gave it a solid 10. They have it at 6.8, which is really low.
Yeah.
I don't know why this game is so low. The game is beautiful. The theme is thin, but it's just a nice card game. It's solitaire, plays with 2 people. Has a ton of really interesting expansions that are in the game box. You don't have to buy anything. You have all the expansions in the box. The base game is definitely not a great game. As good. It's not enough variety, not enough player choice. It's really, really difficult. But you add in the expansions. Not one, just add in 4 or 5 expansions all at once, and the game gets really fun. It's just a mess, it's chaos, but you have ways to mitigating that chaos. There's more things you can do, because every expansion gives you more stuff you can do.
Yeah.
It is a hell of a game. Number 4 is Dreadraw.
That's the one that you hate?
Yes. Heard of it?
Nope.
Haha, I got him again. Dreadraw by Upper
Deck?
Upper Deck, thank you. Upper Bench is a wine. I drink. I'm an alcoholic. Upper Deck made this game. It came out this year. So let me tell you about Dreadraw. You have a deck. You have 10 cards from that deck, which is your life pool. Pretty cool. Pretty straightforward. It's a push your luck game. I'm not a fan of push your luck. In fact, what is it? Jamie Stegmaier listed as his least favorite mechanic was, I think. You draw a card, and it has a number on it and various other things. And then that's your card. You summon that card. You get to draw one, summon it. I have to summon that. The person with the lowest card has to then summon again. Right? Because so if I was a 1 and you were a 3, it would be my turn. But if you had a 1 and I had a 3, you would have to go again.
So we could play this with a deck of 52 cards.
Well, yeah. But it gets better. So you draw it. If it's higher than mine, then I have to go and get higher than you. But if it's equal or less, you get knocked down and I win.
I'm pretty sure there's this is what is it like? Oh shit or something? It sounds like this sounds like a freaking
It's called Dead Draw because it quite literally is just a dead draw game. That's all they did. Only he added in. He wanted to combine a dead draw mechanic with magic. But the game is so random.
Yeah.
It is so... Because literally, it's like... The thing is, you can't just say... You can't push your luck and just hold pat and go, I'm going to stick with this. You have to keep playing until one guy's left standing, and then he does damage to the whole party. So there's no choice. Not only that, but the cards you pull can sometimes have abilities... But they're just, most of the time they don't apply. And the other time they're like, oh, you get to look at the next card and play it if you want. Okay, cool. So I'm just following its instructions.
So it's just a group party of mages that just decide they're all going to be a big bag of dicks to each other.
Yeah, you honestly, they could have called it Big Bag of Dicks. I would give them credit. And I want to see somebody making a game called the Big Bag of Dicks. Make it happen. I will back a Kickstarter named Big Bag of Dicks. I'll just buy it so I can have what's that Big Bag of Dicks? Dice Tower review. Here's Big Bag of Dicks.
Seal of approval.
Exactly. Is it like a bag of baguettes and the dicks are sitting above like? Sorry, I'm quoting Louis C.K. there. I meant Louis C.K. had the suck a bag of dicks. Anyway, it's like the side of the bag. I gave it a 3. But it has an aggregate of 5.8. But the thing is, that's a low score. And there's people going, does this game really deserve this hate? And everyone's just like, yes, it does. Everyone's like, no, there's some strategy. I go, please find it.
Yeah. In
a 2-player game, there's no strategy. In a 4-player game, we tried a 4-player game. It was just like, there's still so little.
Oy.
Oh, yeah. That's Dread Draw. I gave it a 3 to a 5.8.
I think also what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, right about here, you're just going to have to at some point in the video list what the actual ratings are on Board Game Geek for each of the numbers so people know.
Funny thing is, I'll have done that, and at that point, it would be a little, really, I'd already done that, thank you, as you know, the arrow pointing to it.
Yeah. All right. So, my number 4 for like or love is Dragonfire. by Catalyst Games. I gave it a 9.
What's the review score at?
6.4.
Wow.
I know why it gets that much hate. I don't know. It is a really decent game.
That's really...
It's like deck building combined with dungeon crawling. I'm just like, woo!
But yeah, everyone talks about this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 9 to 6.4.
Gotta be something going on with that.
I don't know, but I was blown away. I was just like, whoa.
Did you look at any of the comments?
No, I didn't, but I would think it bears some research because it was just, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, all right, I guess it's not some people. But I love it because for me and Brittany, she loves deck builders. Check. I like dungeon crawlers. Check. It's in the same game. Check, check. Let's play it.
That's weird.
It's even got legacy elements. Yeah. Which, people seem to love these days.
I don't know. I was just saying Man vs. Meeple. They're talking about the most disappointing games of the year, and Charterstone was number 1. Ooh. That was, yeah.
Did I not call that?
Yeah, I know, but it's funny, too, because the Dice Tower is doing their top 100 games of all time, and Charterstone's already popped up on one of their lists. So it might be on the other two, but I think I can't remember who it is. But yeah, it was Z. Z put it on his list. It's like about 82.
That's pretty low.
Oh, it's still in top 100. And that top 100, it's on the list. If it's on the list, period, they're liking it.
Weird. All right, so my number 4 for hate, Defenders of the Last Stand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Which is like Defenders of the Realm.
Yep. I know.
I gave it a 4. Geek rating is 6.08. The reason I put it so low is because I'm pretty sure 4 is like the actual rate. Like when you look up the ratings, I think it's something like, I'll play it, but like my arm has to be twisted to want to play it. And that is pretty much that game. We've never won. We've lost within 3 or 4 turns. Every single time.
Wow.
And it's not just been me and like a couple people playing. I've played it with different groups, and I've played it with someone who is really good at rules, as Ken. And no, we've always lost it within.
Have you checked online once again to see? Because if if I lose at a game badly, I'll go online immediately just to see. Like when Naira was like, this game can't be that hard. Oh, turns out it's not. Turns out if you add the expansion, it gets easier. If you know certain tactics, but there's certain games just like you go to is like, oh, is this game this hard? And like, yep. And then there'll be 5 people who are like, yep. One goes like, oh, it's not hard at all. I win it all the time. And everyone's like, you're a liar.
Yeah.
Stop being a troll.
All right, so that was my number 4.
So number 3 for loving is that one of the bigger deviations. Actually, mine now these are getting really, really far apart. And I know this is just because of the theme, which is Vikings Raid and Conquer. Now, Vikings Raid and Conquer is a deck builder. And I've crapped on deck builders a lot, but this one absolutely think deserves some credit. There's a couple of things for it. It's a standard deck model formula. It's taking it knows what it is. It's taking the standard deck formula. It uses the 5-card flop. Everyone has the exact same types of cards. It's just like Star Realms Ascension, everything else. It's just like those models. But it plays on adding a couple things, adding on to the mechanic that just make it better. There's a lot of mitigation. You can do things. You have these great little shields where you can do additional actions. And if you look at your cards and go, oh, I can do this action this turn, so I'm going to do this action.
Yeah.
Right? Or I can do this action or this action. Right? But there's never a point, even if you have crappy cards in your hand, you go, oh, I have crappy cards in my hand. Therefore, I can do this. There's always something that you can do. So there's never a point where you draw your 5 cards and you are messed up. But in most deck builders, you can. You're all competing for points. Yeah. Yes, there's one situation where you can directly attack another player and steal one of their cards. It's really rare. It only happens like once a game.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you're going for the point cards. And half the time when you're trying to steal someone's card, you're going to end up getting a really crappy card because you're like, all right, take one of those. You're welcome. Yep. It's just one of those things. And even Ascension and Star Realms both. I know Ascension has card stealing, which I'm not a huge fan of. But in this game, there's so much more mechanics in there to make the game easier. The reason why people crap on it is based on the Vikings TV show, which is very few people watch.
It's a good show.
It's a good show, I know that. But most games that are based on IPs, unless they've proven themselves or they're an IP that's been embraced, like Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, those are all you can make games based around those IP and no one's going to look at you weird. But if you were to do a game based off of like Mr. Rogers the game, everyone's be like, what?
Yeah.
And you have an uphill climb. And in Vikings, a deck building game, deck building is getting a bit oversaturated in the market, and the Vikings is like, well, how does this match the theme?
Yeah.
Mechanically, the game is sound. It's what the reason why I don't play it that much is that I'm not a huge fan of Vikings. That's probably the reason why it gets a lot of hate.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, if you take this exact same format, make it a sci-fi game, a completely independent IP, I think this game becomes 10 times better.
Yeah.
So yeah, as for hating, number 3, it's going to be pretty easy. Exploding Kittens. Another really reprehensible game from the Oatmeal. I gave it a 3 to 5.7. Yeah, there's still some people out there who like this game. It's a quick, stupid game with player elimination, and there's virtually nothing to it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I died.
Fair enough. Yep.
Yeah, so that's mine. It's like I said, there's so much more conversation in the love and dislikes until we get to the bottom 2.
Mm-hmm. So my number 3 for liking or loving it is Roll For It. I gave it 9.
Yeah.
Average geek rating is 5.7.
Wow.
Which I don't understand because it's a decent.
It's
not.
It's a puppy dog. It's cute and it's adorable.
And you can.
And it will. And yes, it will shit on your floor, but it's cute and it's adorable.
But at the same time, it's compact, portable, and you could. I don't know.
And wait. Specifically though, let me ask you a question: is it the Roll For It regular edition, or is it the Roll For It deluxe edition that you looked up the numbers?
I own the deluxe edition.
I know, so that's the version?
Yeah.
So people were just like, does this game need to be $40 for the deluxe version?
Maybe not.
That's probably bet you money right
is.
now, if you look up the Roll For It basic edition, it probably has a much higher score.
Probably.
It's like, we don't need crystal dice and a zip and a felt bag and a metal tin.
Anyways.
And yet, that's what I own as well.
All right.
And for dislike.
For my dislike, who goes there?
What?
Gave it a 3. Geek rating is
Wow.
5.8.
No, Geek rating is way higher than that, isn't it?
I just looked today. It's 5.8. It must have.
I got to check
tanked.
on that. It must have tanked, because last time I checked it, it was going at 7.2.
Nope, it's 5.8.
Wow.
Yep. It tanked.
It's been doing that for. I hope I didn't contribute to that. My video went online like 3 days ago, but I didn't completely crap on the game. I gave it praise, conditional praise. Like, if you homebrew it, it's actually, like I said, we ran that homebrew.
Yeah.
We ran with the homebrew rules where the things go over to the side here, and then we just keep on playing. And it was just like Nicole, because Nicole and I love the idea of just sitting around building stuff and surviving.
For me, if I have to homebrew a game that much, it's not the game anymore. So yeah, no 3.
Well, I think if I'm going to spend money on a game,
yeah.
It's like Lost Legends. It's like, well, this game is bad. Oh, it turns out the guy who created it has better rules because he got forced to use the other rules. Okay, I'll go with that. Hey, that game's fun.
But there's no better rules. They don't come up with them. It's like,
I know. I understand that. No, like I said, it is conditional. On its basic set, Who Goes There has I wouldn't say broken. It has a misguided paranoia mechanic.
Yeah.
And it's far too difficult for it.
Yes.
I think personally, and I know there's people who disagree, I think a betrayal mechanic game, that doesn't have a betrayal mechanic, right? The game has to be hard on its own.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that the thing needs to do. Unlike the thing in Vector Outpost, which I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'll bring it by tomorrow.
It's a good game.
It's a good game. They just needed to balance it for 4 players.
Yeah.
It's not a bad game. It just needed to be balanced for 4 players. And you can win the game if you took that mechanic out. So the thing has to gum up the works.
Yep.
And Who Goes There, it doesn't gum up the works. So the game has to be just naturally hard on its own, but then it's too random, so sometimes you feel as if you get out to lunch. And yet all of that is all forgivable. In my opinion, it's all forgivable, but player elimination in a 3-hour game puts it into the grave.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. Right off the bat. I could have forgiven you for absolutely every mistake you made, but you put player elimination in a 3-hour game, and that puts you in the ground.
Yeah. And for me, you give me a game where if all of a sudden everybody's out there trying to get some experience, and all of a sudden, just due to random crap, you can't get inside and your entire party wipes because you're all stuck outside.
You're bitter about that ending.
Oh!
We didn't have that ending, but
that was horrible.
The bitterness that we got from our playthrough was that one person drew junk 4 times in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. There's too much randomness off the wall of fame to the wall of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the wall of shame?
No, part of it is.
It's like there's some good games on that list.
Yeah, no.
Captain is Dead is on that list.
No, that's going to be the new wall of shame. But yeah, no, it migrated. Poof, we're right over there.
All right.
All right, so
Two.
Number two.
Number two for me for loving is I talk about it at length. Kepler 3042, 8.5 to 5, the 9.5 to 6.1. I gave it a really high score. Now this is of course the current version of Kepler 3042. The re-release hasn't gotten enough scores yet to have an aggregate score. This is the Planitia version. Kepler 3042. It's a pure hardcore science game. Like I said, I've talked about it at length. It has elements of entropy, thermodynamics, black holes. I love the fact that you can send off a ship and then centuries later you can send out a warp travel vessel that gets there before the first ship was. I love that. I love the fact that you can stay on Earth and win the game without ever exploring planets. Because entirely based on what you are doing. You're developing your Earth resources. You develop your Earth resources and you work with that. And some people go, you know what? I'm going to explore. I'm going to explore the local cluster. And I start putting down colonies in the local cluster. Some guys go, you know what? No. I'm going for the fringes. I'm going for the far reaches. I played this game 3 times. Every single time, I've done something completely different and won the game on completely different methods. And it's up there with Scythe, because Scythe, you can do the same thing. You can play around with Scythe, but I've never had a game where it's just like, I'm going to completely reverse my strategy just to spice things up and see what happens, and something fun and interesting happens. And like a lot of games, like I have explored these worlds. I've developed this technology. I have black hole. I have antimatter. I've done black hole research. Right, I'm moving this progress tracker. I feel like I'm doing something. The production value isn't great. I mean, the little meeples they look weird. The artwork is very plain. It's an Italian production. It's got its issues, but oddly enough, I love it because of those weird. Like the ships don't look like spaceships that you would make in a miniature game. It looks like the Discovery one from 2001: A Space Odyssey, and the re-release made them look like bunnies. They look like ships, like fighter ships with wings on them. I'm like, I hate you, because that's not a vessel that humanity will build.
No.
So yeah, that's definitely on my list. It's like I said, 9.5 to 6.1 Kepler 3042. Right. My 2 for disliking, we mentioned it already in a previous video, Alchemistry.
Okay.
I mentioned that. I told you about the game.
Yep.
You can easily see why it's a bad game.
Oh yes.
I gave it a 3. Do you know what the review is on
7.5.
it? 7.2. Very good guess. Very good guess. 7.2.
Why?
Because the people...
Why?
Because the people who made the game have a lot of friends.
It must be.
There is no reason why this game is this good.
Yeah.
There is no reason why this... Even Dead Draw, like I said, a Dead Draw is 3 to 5.8. The deviation isn't much. But 7.2?
Yeah, no.
Who goes there is a better game than Alchemistry by a huge margin.
Jesus. Yeah, no kidding.
So, yeah, I'm even going to go into detail. Alchemistry is one of the worst games I've played all year.
All right. So, my like more for number 2.
Which one?
Dungeon. Now, this is the precursor to Dungeons & Dragons. This is TSR. This is before Dungeons & Dragons became Dungeons & Dragons.
He has it on the shelf over there. By the way.
I have it over there.
Staring at it.
It's also re-released right there. It is a simple dungeon delve, and you have 4 classes: wizard, rogue. Actually, I think it's called thief, fighter, and war. And it's very simple, but I gave it a 9, and it's 5.7.
You know why? Because it's the age.
Probably.
It doesn't have the viral following. Like Hero Quest, even classic D&D games from the 80s and 90s, even Axis and Allies. Why Imperial Twilight gets on that list, I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of old fanatics. But yeah, no, I can see that.
So my number 2 for dislike, Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
Ooh. I can't say I agree or disagree, but I will give you some skin for that dramatic pull, because that has to be... What's yours?
6. The geek rating is 8.4.
Yeah, it's very high.
Not that good a game.
Well, it's I'm surprised that I thought isn't it in the top 10?
Pretty sure. Yeah. I don't know. For me,
I have issues with the Pandemic engine on it.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, for me it's the issues with the Pandemic engine.
Right.
And with it being legacy, And then for me, it's like, okay, so we lost, but then you sort of find out, well, you were meant to lose. What? That annoys me because then they certain things with the legacy mechanics, and it tells the story. I'm like, no, it should either be I win or lose, and that will trigger something. It's not you should have lost because this is what we did to make it harder, but now we're going to make it. This is going to be part of the story as to reason why. No,
it's like when you beat the enemy using the game, and then the cinematic kicks in and he defeats you. You're like, you son of a bitch.
Pretty much.
I had that game.
Yeah.
Freaking cinematics kicks in and you lose.
Yep.
All right.
All right. For number one.
Like, Dave, poor soul, always picking paper. Look, Dave says, like, paper never loses. Okay, so for loving, I don't understand. I gave this game a 10. It's another 10 game. It's a game I really, really love. It's a 2-player game. I enjoy it. It's so simple. It's beautiful. It's well made. Production value is fantastic. People, why do you give that game a 10 and Gloomhaven not be a 10? It's like in the realm of 2-player quick games, it's a 10. It's like Roger Ebert. People go, well, Roger, why does this movie get 4 stars and this movie get 3? I go, well, in the realm of that genre, it's the best of that genre. You have to compare like to like. You can't say, and people nail IGN. It's like, oh yeah, you gave Star Wars Battlefront a 7. You gave this movie a 10. I'm like, they're not even in the same format, you morons. And, like they crept on Venom. Oh yeah, but you'll give this movie an 8. I go, they're not even the same ballpark. And that is Odin's Ravens. Odin's Ravens is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
I love it. It's a quick 2-player game. You have these cool raven meeples, and you're moving across, and you're laying down cards to move your meeples across, and your strategies you can follow, and you're laying down, and then you're doing this. It's a quick game. It's 10 minutes. It's fun. The artwork is really, really nice. Why it's got a 6.3, I don't know.
Wow.
It is I know there's like 6.3. There's got to be a lot of people who hate it.
Yeah.
You don't get a 6.3 on a bunch of averages. If you get enough people who love it, you'll push that aggregate up. It's a weird thing. You think it'd be a big title, like, oh my god, Rising Sun, or something like that. I'm like, no. It's a small little 2-player game that I love, that's somehow not shared by a lot of people. My dislike, on the other hand, is, and you have to know, of all the titles, you have to be able to guess this one.
It's gonna be either Gloomhaven or Who Goes There.
No, not it's neither. Because remember, this is disliking, and I don't.
Okay, I honestly don't know.
It's Mission Red Planet.
Oh, right.
Mission Red Planet, the largest deviation period, and there's a whole list. It has a 7.2. I gave it a 2. Mission Red Planet, for those people, once again, I'll reiterate for those people who still haven't figured it out yet. It is a simultaneous action selection where the action selection can deny other players rounds, and it's a 10-round game. Which means if you get denied a round, the chances of you winning that game is next to 0. You might as well just step out. And yet, this is considered one of the greatest simultaneous action selection games out there. Despite the fact,
you can also deny other people rounds then. If you get denied, you can deny them.
Yeah, but once again, it's dumb luck.
Yeah.
You might do it, but you might not. Most of the time, most of the time, you getting locked out is dumb luck.
Yeah.
It's completely dumb luck. It's pure chance because especially in early rounds of the game, because you have no idea what people are going to play, and boom! Oh, I played the level 3 countdown character, which is really, really good. But if all the ships launch and you don't have a place to put 3 guys, you don't get to go. And like, oh great! And then I had another situation where you get to put 2 guys into one, but he had a really high. He goes at like through 2, I think, or 4. And everyone had like high numbers and launched all the rockets or destroyed them. So quite literally, there was nothing on the pad by the time my number. And like I said, in every one of those situations, I never even came close to competing with the top score.
I've never seen games go that way with that one.
I have never seen that game go that way without. It's a trolling game. I said it's a trolling game.
Yeah.
If people go, oh god, I love that. You get to anger people. Like I said, shut up and sit down, guys. Love games that troll people.
No.
They've done that. They've admitted that. They did that in Dead of Winter. They like the idea of making other players miserable. My fiance and I are not part of that category, so I don't know why she likes that game, but she kind of tolerates it because of that, because she ends up doing well. But on that same context, though, we're dealing with this game, which is basically it's trolling. It's your victory is based on making other people miserable.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be someone going to say, "Oh man, I love this game. This game was amazing." There was one person who sat at that table that did not feel that same way. Every time you sat down to play a 5-person or 6-person game of that, and also on top of that, there's a 2-player version of that game, which is a complete disaster. The 2-player version of Mission Red Planet is just a joke.
Oh, okay.
It is a joke. I don't know the way you bothered to put that in there. So that's my number one Mission Red Planet for dislike.
All right. For my number one for like, and this one bugs me a lot because I think there should be some. So many games have ripped this game off, and it's still a good game. It's like the grandfather in this genre, which is deck building. Ascension. I gave it a 10. Its geek score, guess.
6.5.
5.9.
Wow.
Like, harsh. And I'm just like...
Star Realms is higher than that, and Star Realms is an inferior game.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't get it. It's one of the grandfathers of it. And it's just like, you've been ripped off so many times, and you... Wow. I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah, because oddly enough, it's still...
It's still relevant. It's still a good game. They're still putting out
product, but yeah, there must be some hate for that for 6.
Now, the only thing I can understand is maybe it was because of the edition I have, because I have the collector's edition. I don't have the regular editions, and because the collector's edition is all foil. But I don't think that's enough to like.
Cards are cards, mechanics are mechanics. I mean,
yeah.
I will admit some of the expansions later on, where they added in like the voids and the portals and so forth, I was just like, oh, okay, you're getting a bit too complicated for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, trim it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the core system and even some of the expansions aren't so bad.
Yeah. So, my number one for hate. And this one is going to get a lot of flack because it is a great educational game. I don't care. Santorini. I gave it a 3.5. The geek rating is 7.5.
Wow.
I'll give you the reason why it's 3.5.
Why is it educational?
Because apparently it was designed by a teacher, and it's actually all about mathematics is what this one is. And
really?
It
you never
is.
even
Yeah,
thought Santorini was an educational game. I thought
it's an educational game. He designed it as like a full-size like blocks and stuff and like teaching his class or something. Anyway, but we played the game with me and my wife. And so I said, okay, these are the rules, and this is how we're doing it. And she's just like, that's it? I'm like, yeah, that's the game. She's just like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go do something else. Like, it was just, like...
I haven't played Santorini, but I can tell you the conversation I had when I showed Nicole. I thought, oh, she's going to love this. I mean, you're building things, you're moving things around. It got 3 dimensional, it's got this great board.
Yeah.
I thought she would be right. I mean, I didn't have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And she saw the playthrough, and she's like, no.
Yeah.
Not for me. Like, really? She's like, no, not for me. I go, I wasn't interested in it either, but I'm surprised you didn't care for it. She's like, no. So we haven't touched the game.
Yep.
And it's been getting a lot of love.
And I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I've talked to people about it, and you know, even my close friends are like, yeah, no, it's a great game. I'm like, no, it's not. And even I tried to cull it from our game collection, and it's like, well, maybe we'll keep it around for the kids. So, you know, maybe we can teach, you know, when he's like 3, 4, 5.
Teach him bad game design.
and then, you know, we can get rid of it after that. I'm just like, oh.
It's like, it's a test. Oh, you are my child. Good.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad, burn it.
Yeah, exactly. Either that or he just picks it and, yeah. Oh, there you go. Problem solved.
It's like, honey, we're going to teach you your first board game. What do you want to play? Massive Darkness. Good. We'll get rid of Santorini, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got some taste. You're getting nightmares tonight. All right, so for my loving games, 5 Alien Frontiers, 4 Onirim, Vikings Raid and Conquer is 3, 2 Kepler 3042 and Odin's Ravens. I rated all of these higher than the aggregate on Board Game Geek. For disliking, these are all games I disliked more than the aggregate. Bird vs. Babies, Dread Draw, although not by much. Exploding Kittens, Alchemistry, but really, the whole list is just for one title, Mission Red Planet, which is a game which I really dislike, which everyone seems to like.
All right. Games I like more. Number 5 was Captain is Dead. What? Dragonfire, again, what? Number 4, Roll for It. Dungeon, I don't get it. And Ascension, again, don't get why that game gets hate. Ones I hate more, number 5, don't have one. Number 4 is Defenders of the Last Stand. Number 3 is Who Goes There? You should have known better. Number 2 is Pandemic Legacy Season 1. And number 1 is Santorini. There is no game there.
So, oddly enough, the one list that seems to have more relevance is the love list. Because the hate list, there's like most of it, it's not too... When we dislike a game, it's not too far apart from the norm, with probably one or two exceptions. And oddly enough, our Santorini, Mission Red Planet were two really notable examples. Yeah. If we'd merge these lists into one and just had the deviations, it would be Exploding Kittens, Kepler, Vikings, Odin's Ravens, Mission Red Planet.
Yeah.
Mission Red Planet is the biggest one for me. Kepler 3042 and Odin's Ravens also have some pretty severe, but that's also because I might like Odin's Ravens probably more than what people think. I love it. It's the game. It's the go-to game for me and Nicole if we want to fill our game between the two of us.
Yeah, I think honestly, my list would pretty much stay the same for just biggest deviations. The only one that falls off is Santorini. Nope, Santorini had a big enough.
Santorini. Well, if it's number one, it has to be somewhere.
I think Defenders of the Last Stand is the only thing that falls off.
Like for me, let's see. Yeah, you would. I would have lost Onirim, Alien Frontiers, Dread Draw, and Bears vs. Babies. So it's a weird mix too, because Exploding Kittens, Mission Red Planet I dislike. The other three I do like, which just once again shows that I have more passion towards certain titles than other people.
Yeah, I would have lost Pandemic Legacy, Defenders of the Last Stand, and nope, yep. Who Goes There would have been gone off, as well as Captain is Dead, and then Santorini would have jumped in at number 5.
Okay, so this has been Chris.
And this has been Dave. And remember, rules are just a suggestion. Play the game how you want.
And homebrew it to fix it.
There you go.